Hey guys, welcome back to another Leetcode video. Today we're going to be looking at Leetcode 1763, longest nice substring. This is an easy difficulty Leetcode problem, and we're told that in this problem description that a string S is nice if for every letter of the alphabet that S contains, it appears both in uppercase and lowercase. For example, ABB is nice because A and A appears, uppercase A and lowercase A appear. Uppercase B and lowercase b both appear as well. However, ABA would not be a nice string because B appears, but uppercase B does not. A would satisfy because we have a lowercase a and uppercase a, but not for B. So given a string S, we need to return the longest substring of S such that it is nice. If there are multiple, return the substring of the earliest occurrence. If there are none, return an empty string. So that's the problem description. And we're given an example. In this example, we're told that the nice or the longest nice substring is AAA because we have uppercase A and lowercase a. So we have the longest nice substring. We can't find any other substring which are going to be longer in this string that will also be nice. In this example, there are no nice substrings, so we just return an empty list. So let's get straight into coding. How are we going to solve this problem? Well, we can see from the problem description that this looks to be a sliding window kind of problem. So we want to have a window which slides over parts of our string, and we can basically, with this window, look and find any nice strings and then compare that to our result. And if the new substring we find is longer than the substring we are currently tracking, we can replace that substring and then return our result substring at the end. So it'll make more sense as we get coding up. So let's actually solve this problem. So let's set n to be the length of our string. And we're going to say if n is less than 2. So if n is less than 2, well, we know in this case we can't find any nice strings, so to speak. So we're just going to return an empty list, or sorry, an empty string. Otherwise, we want an empty string to be our result. And then we're going to iterate through the range of n. And then what we want in this for loop is a lower set, which is going to store all our lowercase characters, basically, and an upper set, which is going to store all our uppercase characters. And what we want to say now is for j in range of I to n, if sj, so if sj dot is lower, well, in this case, we can add to our lower set dot add sj. Otherwise, we know that we have an uppercase character, so all we can do is copy paste this and say upper set dot add sj. So we are adding to our lower and upper sets the respective characters. The next thing we want is to create a flag called nice. So nice initially is going to be equal to true, and we'll set it to false if we find out that our current substring is not a nice substring. So nice is true. I'm going to say for each character in the lower set, if character.upper is not in upper set, so is, or actually, sorry, not is not in, is just not in upper set, well, we know that we don't have a corresponding uppercase character for this lowercase character. So we want to set nice equal to false and then break. And then we want to do the same as well for upper set. For upper set, c.lower is not in lower set. Set it to false, set nice to false, and break again. And Then we can say if nice, so if the nice flag is true, and we want to say if j minus I, and remember we have to do +1 because it starts from 0, is greater than the length of our result. It's greater than the length of our result. So far, we can say result is going to be equal to, and let's do a slice. So we're going to say from I to j +1. And then once we have our result, let's just make sure my indentation is correct. We can return our result. So that should be all the code there. And we get the wrong answer. We are simply outputting an empty string. Let's look through our code, guys, and do some live debugging. So if n is less than 2, return nothing. So set c.upper not in upper set. We're going to break. That's fine. I wonder if that space caused a syntax error. I'm not sure it did. Okay, so that was not it. Okay, so this is quite a silly mistake from my end, but it's simply indentation. So what we want to do is say, let's indent all of you guys. Indentation is key in Python, guys, remember that. And we submit our code and it passes all 73 test cases. A bit of a hiccup in the end, but when you're scrolling this code editor, you don't always see if your indentations are correct, so that can catch you up a bit. But that's the core logic was there and was correct. So that's a solution for this problem, guys. Let's actually discuss the time and space complexity. Time complexity is going to be big O of n squared. So we've got a quadratic time complexity because we do have nested for loops here. And space complexity is going to be big O of n. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.